All right, we are now going to do part dose of this refret of this 1976 Les Paul Deluxe. Previous video, we did neck prep. Hopefully you guys watched that one. So our neck is all flat and shiny. And next, we're going to be doing some fret bending, fret cutting, fret nibbling, fret hammering, all the fret things. Ready? So this is the thing we're going to use to bend. I'm going to put this in the vise. And our nibblers and fret calls. Ready? All right, so hang on a sec, get you guys in the holder and get things prepped, and let's get to it. All right, kind of a goofy angle here, but the way my camera holder or phone holder thing, this is how it's going to work. So what this thing does is bend frets, for those who haven't seen it. And how this works is you feed it through one end, and we're trying to go for about a 12-inch radius. I think I did a Gibson last time with this, so we'll see if we're close. So let's send it. Nope, that is way too flat for a Gibson. So, well, let's check. Yeah, it's a little too flat. I basically put it, I don't want to move the holder right now, but I put it up against the board and it's too flat, too flat. So if you're working with multiple pieces and you get one that you know is wrong, you should do the other three pieces or two pieces, whatever you got, also do them wrong. Because if you don't, and you bend one that's already been bent, and then you try to bend a flat one, it'll come out different. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So, now, undo this. Oh, that's somebody used pliers on that. All right, let's do that. I hate when people use my tools and do that. Anyway, so this is on a cam, just kind of twist it up a little bit, like that. Tighten it. We'll send it again. That's looking closer. Yeah, that looks more like a 12. Nailed it. All right. So we'll do our other three, pair two. I can't count today. There we go. And you can make these things. I've made one with, sliding door parts from Home Depot, but these things, the StewMac one's very nice. It really is. All right, so that's good. We're done with this. Take this out of here, and we'll change you guys around. Hold on, pause. Okay, so we were basically just check this. See if you guys can see this. Basically put, let's see here. There we go. You can kind of see, but just when you want to match the radius of the board, get it as close as you possibly can, like that. All right, next, we're going to chop our frets into semi-equal pieces. But first, one thing that I've learned by trial and error, that the ends clip off about an inch and a half. Just clip it off and throw them away, because your bender did not bend. It's hard to see with the camera, with the phone, but the ends are still straight. So clip them off, throw them away, or you'll have certain frets where your ends are sticking up. So snip and snip. Yeah, it's wasteful. You know what? Frets are cheap. Mistakes aren't. Angry customers with a fret end that popped up because you tried gluing it down and it didn't stay. That's worse, right? Right. So there we go. All right, you guys see what's going on here? Next, basically what I do, and this is where it comes into, you don't need to have the collection of old frets kicking around. This will all tie together too. So just basically lay them across the board. Leave about that much sticking out, and then just basically do this. Ready? Snip, and just make them about all the same. Careful when you do this. If you're near the guitar, when you clip that, it tends to, depending on how you hold it, the ends can flip up and bang the edge of the guitar with a sharp fret end, and that's not good. So we're just going to do this. And that, and, well, we're gonna get another little bit of waste. Again, I don't care. Don't care. I prefer to do a nice clean job than try to save 3 inches of fret. And we're gonna figure those one about to there, so we're gonna start at the 12th area. And again, about that much sticking out. They're still gonna be about the same length, but that. And snippety snip. And these are just channel lock end cutters, and I did a few mods on them. I'll talk about that. There we go. It's gonna be a mid-level, and this will be fine for up here. And that will bring us to about here. Again, now we'll snip all these up, and what I used to do, because you always end up with about, if you use 3 pieces of the StewMac wire, then you end up with about, I don't know, 6 inches or so of unused. 2 frets, 3 frets worth. I will often, if I'm doing it for a customer, we'll put them in a bag, label them, and just put them in the case. If they ever ding a fret later on, you have the replacement frets. You know what I mean? It can happen. Oh yeah, so these ground flat, took the chain and basically made this edge finer edge so you can really get in there and get close. Also did this. I should cut that in more, but I just ground these edges down, and that lets you get in real close to without having to go sideways or use the little cutters. So grind those edges in. StewMac should make them like this. You got the big side and you got the little side. All right, right? Pay attention, StewMac. Next step. Oh, somebody's here. Hold on, pause. All right, so next step, and this will definitely be time-lapse once I show exactly what's going on here, is take our fret and basically, here, let's zoom in a little bit. Zoom in, zoom and enhance. So, again, obviously too long. And I've gotten crap from people online, these so-called experts, about, oh, don't leave that much overhang. Don't worry, we'll get there. Don't worry. Now, this is a very essential tool for guitars with binding. This one, or this is a new StewMac version, I don't like it as much. It leaves more of a ridge underneath. It's not a huge deal, but this old school kind works better. This one's starting to wear out. I've crammed like pieces in here to make it a little tighter, but maybe I can still get these somewhere else. Anyway, so this is how this works. It's a little whoop, whoop, whoop. So it's like a little guillotine thing in there with a notch. Basically a nibbler when they saw it, a little notch in there for the edge of the fret. And it goes in like this. Here, watch. Like that. See that? See that? And it just undercuts that fret end a little bit. And then do that. Take a little at a time. If you try to take too much, you'll bend it, smush it, and that's not good. Like that. And whoop, keep drifting out of focus. I'm trying to look at the camera and the fret at the same time. And whoop, there we go. All right, whoop, see that one go? There it is, got it. And you want to do this on both sides. It doesn't have to be super perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be super even on both sides, as long as you got a decent amount of overhang. And normally I wouldn't do this directly over the guitar, but I'm trying to show you guys what's happening. There we go. Let's see how close. That's still too wide. All right, what do you think? What do you think about that? Let's see how close I got. I'm usually pretty good at guessing. Look at that. A little bit more. A little bit more. So basically you want to get it just as close to the edge of the binding as you can. All right. There we go. And the next step, oh, hold on, I forgot a part of our setup here. Hold on, pause. All right, we have another essential tool. Here, let me swing out a little bit. Come on. This is a big bag of lead shot. And we're gonna move our neck rest out and drop that right there. And this gives us something to fret into, because we're going to do a hammer method. Some guys like the press, I like the hammer. It's just I'm more comfortable that way. If you like pressing them in, that's cool. There's a reason why I like the hammer method better, is that you can actually hear when they're seated properly. I'm going to use these things. These are for a press, but I like beating on them. It ends up kind of deforming them a little bit, so they get warped. But just find the one that matches the radius. This one used to be a 9, but now it's 12 now. So that'll work for this one. Somebody's coming in. Pause. Right. So here we have gone through with our fret rocker, and I found a little spot that was a little clicky. So we're going to first try giving a little tap, see if it goes back down, and then we try it again. If it still clicks, don't keep beating on it. If you keep beating on it, you're just going to make it worse. You'll dent the board, you'll ruin your fret. Don't beat on it. We're going to put a little bit of super thin or ultra thin super glue, there it is, in these little handy pipettes that you've seen on this channel many times. And we are just going to stabilize that fret. Remember, we want to have as good of a foundation as possible. Don't want to leave any loose frets if you find them. All the frets are going to be glued, spoiler alert, but this is what we're going to do first. Sorry about the goofy angles. And so we're just going to put just a little bit of super glue under that fret, and I'm gonna make sure I find the right one again. And so just a little, don't put a lot, just enough to hold it, get our accelerator ready. And so with our pipette, just give it a little bit at the edge there, that's all, wipe off the excess. And then we're going to hold it down with a screwdriver. Really high-tech methods here. Hit it with the accelerator and just wait a few seconds. So that will take care of that fret being high, and then we're going to continue on checking our other frets. So I know how this ends, so I'm going to say that fret came out fine, and now it's nice and stable, and it's not going to bounce. It's okay to have a few uneven spots, but bouncy frets are not okay. They will never be level if they're bouncy. So there it is, we got it. Moving on. All right, back to time lapse. Totally lied to you guys, not going to quite go back to time lapse just yet. So what's going to happen next is we're going to explain why I leave so much extra fret and make so many of the old farts angry with me, because they obviously are paying for my frets. But yes, it's a little wasteful, but what we do is we're going to turn this particular guitar over after we finish fixing this one last. A little bit of a high spot there, no problem. And let's see, I think we got it without having to glue in this one, right? Yes. Hopefully you can just do that, tap them down, check with your rocker, and it's going to be good. Now, why we leave the extra on those fret ends, it's about to be revealed. We're going to flip this guitar over, and see, I'm like telling with my hands. So, flip the guitar over, and now these fret ends now become glue chutes. Right? So use your pipette of ultra thin super glue, and we're going to drip it onto the end, and because of how that ultra thin super glue works, it's going to draw itself right under the fret end into the channel. It's going to seal up the edges. If you have any chip splits, cracks, or anything with binding issues, it'll help take care of that. But mainly, it just locks the fret in, and it does it in a way that doesn't get glue all over your board. I used to glue from the front all the time. I know a lot of guys do. You spend so much time cleaning up glue. So, right here, see, one little dot, just a little tiny drop, and it just naturally just wicks it right under the fret. Puts it right where you want it, and if you put too much, guess what happens if you put too much? It tends to go to the top, which is now upside down, of the fret. So if you're careful, if you think you did too much glue, you can carefully look under there, see that bit of glue dangling off the fret, and you can take care of it, hit it with the accelerator, it'll dry up, it'll flake right off the top of the frets. And we just kind of do this for every one of the fret ends. You gotta be careful as we get up to the body of the guitar. Obviously, you don't want to get super glue on the body of the guitar, especially a lacquer guitar. Polyurethane's pretty easy to remove super glue, but lacquer can be a real pain. Usually involves sanding and lots of polishing and swearing. So we're going to do that. We've done that for that side. We're going to do that for the other side. Trust me, this is the way to glue in your frets if you're going to use super glue. It's so much easier and cleaner. It's just all around better way to do things. Just give it a shot. Trust me, you can do it. I have faith in you. So right now I'm kind of checking under there. I know you guys can't see right here. I have the guitar up. I'm holding it with one hand, glue with the other. Sorry if you can't see. Again, I guess I need to hire a camera guy. Anybody want to work for no pay and even fewer benefits? No? Okay, cool. Then don't complain if it's out of frame for a second. It'll come back. Trust me, it'll come back. All right, good. We got it. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I am going to time lapse that, so catch you guys on the other side of that one. Alright, so we had one little spot where we got a little bit of glue on the board. Not a big deal at all. A sharp chisel will take care of that. You never get it 100%, but this will definitely save you a lot of work, especially if you have to do this for every single fret. And also it didn't try to like run all over the board because it was upside down when it happened. So it stayed right there by that fret. A little bit of chisel work and I can use the razor blade here. Spoiler alert, razor blade incoming. And yes, we use a little bit of razor blade just to pop the glue off there. That was just a little bit of excess. And we don't have to scrape or do too much scraping and sanding, and we don't have to go back on our work that we already did. And that board is nice and shiny. We want to keep it as shiny as possible. And there we go, getting that cleaned up. All right, so on to the next part. We're going to be clipping these off with the fret end Stumac fret cutters there. Or no, those aren't the Stumac ones, are they? I think those are Klein. I don't remember. Irwin. I can't remember. Some kind of tool. And these are the ones I modified so they fit into the frets in the upper areas without having to go all funny angles. And yeah, we just kind of go through and clippity clip. And that's all there is to it. I'm sure you guys have seen things clipped before, so I'm gonna shut up and time lapse this. And I think this is going to take us to the end of the video. Again, I appreciate everyone watching. If you could like and share, subscribe, do all that happy crappy for the YouTubes, I would really appreciate it. It'd be great if we got a bigger audience. More people can yell at me for things that they think I do wrong. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Hope everyone has a good one, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks. See ya. Actually, I think this video is almost wrapped up, so we'll just let you guys continue watching me, and I'll put in some of my end credit musics, and we'll, again, see you on the next one. Thanks again for watching.